Have you guys had a chance to go ahead and look at the minutes from November 9th? Yeah, I didn't see the problem. You see, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Okay. Second. Good. Morning. Hey, good morning. Motion carried. Tony, what you got? Okay. First we have the Eastern Alliance Workers' Comp. And that amount is $3,326.66. $33.26.66. Obviously it's personal, but pages you can look at are underneath. Oh, it says coming down. Make a motion, we accept. All right, motion carried. Claim is presented. Next, we have the Allied weekly health insurance claims. That is in the amount of $16,865.36. That is all medical, and there was a small adjustment, with the amount being $16,865.36. How does that work? If people use generic, does that show up as a deduction, or is that just, I know?
That should be in the claims.
Yeah.
It should be priced in the claims. Unless there's rebates, and then sometimes those go through and then you get pharmacy rebates.
I think what those are, how those adjustments to the stock loss. Made a motion, accept that. Who did? Yep. Mark.
There's an email that I sent.
Second. Okay, motion carries, just a little bit, so it's near the top. Claims as presented, so you can answer me before I leave on that insurance claims. Okay. Okay, the last thing I have is the monthly payment for Elaine Shackley Consulting. This will be for December. And that amount is $2,916.67, $2,916.67. I guess I do have one other thing. We'll make a motion to second. I do have one other thing, but I don't know whether it needs a motion or anything. I think it's just for your motion carries. Discussion. I guess Mark can answer whether it needs a motion or not, and what you guys decide to do eventually. But over 50 counties have taken the National Association of Counties High Performance Leadership Academy. And from what I've heard, seeing all of them talk at conferences and stuff, it's a really good 12-week online leadership training. And normally, that cost is $2,995 per person. But because when COVID hit, they started doing online and so forth, they've lowered that. And they have lowered it to $1,995, but now they're offering the first person at just $1,000 for that training. Obviously, I sent you all that email, and I know that I asked you this morning that you can send however many people you want, and they said there is a big cost savings to everybody else that goes. How you decide who goes is completely up to you, whether it be elected officials, whether it be, I think it should be somebody that will be here to utilize that for a while, because it is a 12-week extensive course. So I don't know, Mark, would that have to be a motion, would it be approved, or can they just direct that someone attending that is okay.
Yeah, I think you'd want to have it in the record, a motion to approve, you know.
And if we would take that out of employee training, I suppose.
They can come out of, a couple of things that can come out of it.
In the commissioner's budget?
Mm-hmm.
We've got $329 left in employee.
Yeah, this wouldn't be until January,
Oh, okay.
so that we have the settlement already back in there by then. And they're offering it in January and then again in April. I had also sent this to future Commissioner Bailey, because January will be on there. And I mean, there's no problem at all if you want to think about it for a while, or just maybe sign people up for the April edition of that. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention that it's out there, and there's a big cost savings right now to do it.
Because it looks like as far as us, we had originally $3,000 in that line item. And then we had actually moved some out.
I mean, if we wait until January, we can look at the budget and see if there's other places that could come out, depending on how many people you send and so forth. I don't know if any of that could be utilized through the recorder's fund that he has extra in there for training as well. There are probably places that we can figure that out if you guys decide to send. If you
And
can,
as far as other departments, that would be up to the department head themselves, probably.
I mean, I suppose, I don't know if you want to, well, it's all online.
Is it like an hour a week for 12 weeks or what?
Something online, or it might be a 4 hour, just different times. It's, there is a video. If you click on the link that I emailed you, there's a video you can watch and it tells you what it is and so forth. Jackie Clemens was talking about it at the recent conference that we attended, and some other people were as well. And they all said it's very worthwhile, especially since the costs has come way down on that, to offer leadership in the counties. But you don't need to decide today. That's just something I wanted to throw in front of you guys, and as well as Steve for when he comes on board, to for you to be thinking about, whether you want to bid, who would be likely candidates to go, that kind of thing. So
I would say maybe see if you can get kind of a curriculum and schedule of
and I think it's on that email. You can click on it.
Okay, so maybe we click on that, get that information for the commissioners so you can see how intensive it is, how much time commitment it involves. And then, see who might be interested in the deadline doing this.
For the January one, I'm not sure. But I can email that information out to you.
I can look it up here.
Like I said, I would kind of set it out so you could click on that link, you can watch the video, it should describe how that breaks down over 12 weeks.
Is that an email you sent me?
You were kind of discounted
have the understanding.
Steve, is that something you'd be interested in?
Well, my comment to Tony was that so often we take individuals from positions where they're not in leadership position, and we promote them into a position where they're in a leadership position. And we assume that they understand how their role has changed and how to do that job, and how to supervise people, and how to coordinate and organize. And just because somebody's really good at a task doesn't mean they're going to be really good leaders. But often we assume that, and we promote really good task-oriented people into positions of leadership, and then don't give them any training to go along with that, with that increased breadth of responsibility. And I think leadership training when we do something like that, we have an individual that's going to move into a position of leadership, or that even a newly elected department head who hasn't had a lot of leadership experience, I think we owe that to them to give them an opportunity to develop those leadership skills. And I don't know how good this particular curriculum is, but it might be good to send one person or have one person go through the training and then get feedback. Yeah, it was really good, it helped with this, blah, 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 or no, it was a waste of time and I would recommend it, and so on and so forth. But I know that many organizations like this have that leadership development training. And I just think if this is available to us, we ought to poke around at it, we see if it's valuable, and then think about individuals who are moving into that leadership role that maybe haven't done that before, and give them an opportunity to develop those skills that maybe they just haven't had to use before.
Yeah. Well, I know like AIC has a new elected officials somewhere, but that's just like a one-day deal,
Right.
which kind of helps orient you a little bit. But as far as this one, a little bit more financial commitment, I think it's going to be like up to us as far as whether us three commissioners decide to spend the money out of our budget. And then other elected officials, like say Sherry Bragg moving into the clerk position, you know, she'll have to look at her budget. So it might depend on individual department budgets, but, you know, we can certainly encourage it. And I think you're 100% right. Rick, did you?
And I agree with Steve too. But has anybody consulted Shannon with this? Maybe Shannon's working on something like this too.
Well,
Option.
yeah. So,
I think I copied her on that email, and on the email, I felt like Shannon and Bree might be two possibilities of taking this. I doubt that she's working on anything of that nature.
Just
Well, it's 12
You know,
weeks.
Shannon might be a great one to basically get some feedback on how actually good this curriculum is, how good the program is. Shannon probably would be a good one to provide you with that feedback and figure out if that's how she wants to build her leadership training program around that particular course, or if that's a waste of time.
yeah. You know, and as always, with elected officials, they obviously will make their own decisions for themselves and their department and kind of look and see where they want to go. But I think that's a good way to look at it. Let Shannon evaluate it a little bit and bring a recommendation for department heads or other leadership positions. So,
Yeah, it says, says credentialing for the January course is 12/16/22, so that's tomorrow. I don't know what that,
Well, that's not tomorrow, that's.
12/16 is a month from now. I think you say we're talking a little too far.
yeah.
Would you change that clock too far?
I know he's looking, I know it's all about deadlines today, deadlines tomorrow.
Just thinking ahead.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's good, 12/16, we got that all the time. So I'll print one off here for each of you, it says, it's built to accommodate work schedules, self-paced learning, each 12-week program covers 4 courses on leadership, which are broken down into weekly modules. Each module includes a 1-hour live webinar and a 1-hour breakout discussion, plus daily assignments ranging from 3 to 35 minutes. Live webinars are recorded, so you don't have to worry if you miss one, you can go back and do it. So anyway, it looks like it's about 2.5 hours a week for 12 weeks.
I was with you until you started talking about assignments.
Looks like there's homework.
I think it's things that they work on. So I watched a little bit of some of that, and I think it's during the breakout sessions, that's when they do the assignments, they do them together, like, okay, write down your thoughts of this would happen and so forth. And I don't think it's extra homework, I think it's done during that time, from what I saw. But here I go. But that'll give you some time to think about how you want to coach that, and I can try to find out if you decided to send more than one, they mentioned significant savings. I'll find out what that savings is, but I don't know how long that savings will be intact. But I'll find some of that out.
Okay, thanks, Tony.
Printed that off, that's off the main website, and you can, if you just go onto that NACO High Performance Leadership Academy, that whole website pops up and there's all kinds of information.
You know, I kind of feel bad because I've never paid a whole lot of attention to NACO.
The Association of Riverland Counties sends a lot of emails and stuff in conjunction with NACO. And the county pays to be a part of NACO. So they send out things and they come to me and I pay attention to them, obviously. But I feel like I was worthwhile that, like Steve said, at least have one person do it, if not a couple, and then go from there. But that'll be your guys' decision in the next couple of weeks or so.
Yeah. You said that, you signed those.
Yeah, so, you know, we'll let Shannon look at it, see what she thinks too. So, yeah, okay.
That's how I would go, is let Shannon look at it and see what her opinion is.
Okay. All right, very good. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. And
Taking
I still have that email. I can email her that link so she can look it up too.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll just put it in with the,
she'll make this.
she'll be back tomorrow, I can talk to her.
Sure.
Okay, talk to her. You get an email.
Oh, I am.
I know, I didn't get no emails, so.
We're missing everything this week. Brad?
Pointed to the back.
Any code, I thought maybe Dan would come up to and bring some wisdom with it. Been pretty empty today, Brad, if he's got a.
Wait till next week.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys. No, it is. Today I just got some updates on stuff. You remember a few months ago, came to you about allowing us to pursue another new truck chassis? And because not knowing when they were gonna have spots available.
Right.
We got the okay from the salesmen that they have some spots available. So we kind of hustled around and talked to Mark a little bit and how we can do this since we're just doing the chassis, okay? So we were able to do quotes, and so we're looking at the 22nd, which would be a week from today, opening those quotes. So the quotes, you just send it out to different vendors, and we've done that, because they gotta have at least 7 days to respond. So we're looking at next Tuesday, opening those quotes, just for the truck chassis. And everything we're hearing, you're still talking almost a year out.
So are you pretty much limiting the specs to that one engine?
Just like we did last year. Yes. Yeah. And it says in there, it can be equivalent or above, is that how it's stated?
Because I remember there was one that we had trouble with that you wanted to avoid. So,
Yes. So yeah, we send it out to different vendors, we'll see how many respond back, and next Tuesday we're, as long as that's okay with you guys, plan on get this process moving.
yeah.
So,
Sounds good to me.
okay, we found out at the beginning of the month, so we scrambled, we kind of had the specs ready, but we had to get all the paperwork done and make sure we were doing it right, and they got to do it by Thanksgiving. So it's that quick. Yeah, spots come open, they go fast, so. So then also, another thing we've been talking about for a long time, our fuel tank situation. We thought we were headed in the right direction and tried to do some things on our own. And I reached out to Gasoline Equipment, just, make sure we're doing things correctly. And what we would like to do is not the best solution, long term especially. So I thought, you know what a better way to get some questions you guys have answered. And also, they use Sourcewell. They can do this through Sourcewell, and I thought, if Mark would have questions since they've dealt with it. So I invited Matt from Gasoline Equipment to come to next week's commissioner meeting. That way, if you guys have questions or anything, you can ask him. He knows the ins and outs of this.
And he is specifically with
Gasoline Equipment.
gasoline.
Yes.
So,
They're the ones we have used for years. They do the maintenance and all our stuff. You know, they've always kept us up and running.
and it's a private company, it's.
Yeah. But they do use Sourcewell. And the way I understood it, we get almost all the equipment through Sourcewell. So I just thought it'd be good, have him come, rather than me trying to answer questions I don't have an answer to. So I invited him next Tuesday. Tony was kind enough to put him on the agenda. So
You're thinking that the solutions you were offering were not the best as far as our underground tanks or putting in above ground?
the above ground system. We want to get away from the underground tanks, just be done with it, get away from it.
We're still using it though.
Yes, we're still using it. That's correct.
Okay.
So I just, there again, if it's all right with you guys, I put it on the agenda, not having spoke to you guys, because it was after last Tuesday. So I just want to make sure that's all right. I'll get here next Tuesday during the meeting, in this time slot, and he can answer any questions you might have.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I would go with it.
Okay. And then the other thing, the same thing we've been talking about, we're getting ready for winter. Get snow plows in, went over snow plows. The whole crew went yesterday, put all our salt spreaders in the back of the trucks, our sander boxes, we got all them on. Other than going through plows.
I have to
I don't want to
confess,
say I'm taking on against you.
I have to confess, I did not check my mailbox yet. So,
Well, remember, when that truck goes by, close it over.
yeah. Well, they usually wait till I clear my driveway and then they can start. State.
That's how we time it.
I need to tell them now.
And then there again, just let you guys, you ever want to ride, let me know. Maybe we'll luck out and not get much this year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Did you have trouble getting it motivated after Saturday?
it's still Saturday. It was a nice day Saturday.
Where was that?
We were fortunate the way it sounds.
Yeah, we're having a good over 3 inches.
And I heard that slick.
It was, yeah, they were Rex on 69.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
They said it's like also over in Indianapolis.
So that worked out well. Anyhow, that's all I have.
Real regrets.
No,
Gee,
that's really slowed down here lately, so.
Okay. I'm good. Thanks, Brad, man. All right.
We are about, we moved approximately 3 inches for Wells, Adams, Allen, and Van Wert counties.
Really?
Some of it melted as it came down. We actually had about a 3 inch snow.
I didn't realize it was that much. All right, good.
Hi, guys.
All
Good. Hey, I got one question. If you could get us a new clock, that would be
What
fantastic.
happened to it?
It got,
They got disposed of.
yes, it didn't want to keep time no more, so it has to be disposed of.
Because I changed it. I changed it.
Everyone stay. I gave it 3 chances.
I was gonna ask.
They were filling out 3 times, right? We kept stopping, we kept
I
stopping.
really don't want one of those $9.99 ones again.
Yeah.
Did you keep the hook that was hanging it up there?
So I did, somebody said, what time was that? I said, it's time to get a new clock. Made an executive decision. So.
Yes, we purchased a couple of those, I think. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, does somebody know how to? I was blaming it on Larry, they had. Lots, got lots going on in this building today, this week. Might not be the time of Rex, congratulations.
Cool, thank you. It was a Lewis that did it.
I'm gonna, I guess I'll just start out how I have it in order here. Next Friday, possibly, I don't know for sure, it just depends what they get done. that is the 25th, day after Thanksgiving. Guess we're gonna ask permission to come in here, or we may try to get those chillers in here that day, or they may try to do it next week. It just depends. So that would be Friday, the 25th, why nobody's here. And I don't even think Parks is here either, probably.
So you're talking about putting them in the building or setting them on the roof?
Putting them in the building.
Okay.
And then I was talking to John this morning about it, so John Gilbert from BTS, so he's gonna get back with me. I'm just presenting that in case that is the option to do that, come in on that Friday, day after Thanksgiving.
So as far as any of the offices that won't, if they do it on that day,
Parking lot should be clear,
yeah.
everybody out of the way, so to speak. What's happening with that whole project? I met yesterday, all the contractors were here. Matt was here from Core Facilities also. They took the Freon out of the unit yesterday and drained it all out of the system. Today, they're starting to demo it. They're gonna take the old out in pieces, tear it apart, but the new ones will come in whole. And that'll either be next week or that next week early in the week, or it'll be Friday. So I told them we had to stay away from Wednesday because of the food bank.
Oh, right.
Okay. One thing that I asked from BTS and Matt was to give me an email every week, just so we have it, in case you guys may ask me questions, just so I know what's going on, what hasn't happened, what I was told during this project. So when I come in here on Tuesday, I don't care if they send it to me on Monday or on Friday or whatever, you ask me something, I hopefully be able to tell you.
Do you think any of this water going on will any of it affect anybody in the offices at all?
Now, if it was going to, it already would have.
Okay.
I do have one problem, I guess, down in the weight room. They say they don't have any heat down there, but no, from what they did yesterday and unhooked the system, the cooling side of the system, which they assured me it wouldn't, but you never know. But I think it would have already happened,
Okay.
so.
Because like you talked about, they're not only changing the chillers, they had to change or unhook and they'll have to rehook the control system.
That's right. That's what's happened. So I can't, if it got 80 tomorrow, we don't have no air conditioning because it's Freon's out, everything, so.
Let's hope that happens.
Trades and sandals.
Yep. We have people here today working on the power room doorways. They're here with the chillers demoing that. There are lots of people that we had locks put on the first floor and that they're here also today. Gene came in, thanks Tony for presenting that quote to the commissioners last week. He was in here a little while ago measuring that, so he'll get started on that wiring for the food bank.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him walk through here earlier.
Yeah, he was measuring up and seeing what all he needs and so forth. I kind of went down it, I guess, but
The sheriff has something?
With those new doors being put in there in the bottom hallway where the servers and stuff are, are those doors gonna be locked all the time?
well, are you talking the hallway or going in underneath the bleachers?
The hallway doors, the two new metal doors,
They're gonna be locked.
I think they'll be locked,
they can't be
so.
because you don't have access down to the public defenders or the WIC office from the elevator.
Those are things that have been brought forward on that whole thing. So there would have to be some changes if if those are going to be locked.
And we also need to check with the fire marshal, because if there's a fire upstairs and they down the office, they have to be able to get out the other end of the building.
Yeah.
So those doors cannot be locked during business hours.
I think there's another avenue that Mike has in mind to answer those questions that you have, Sheriff. And you'll have to speak to him about it. Maybe they can come up in a change committee, but there's some other things.
That's gonna be a fire code,
Well,
I guarantee it. Because that restricts that end of the hallway. You only having one evacuation. If there's a fire on the stairs, you need to go down the other way and get through.
I'm not elaborate to say it right now. I don't want to really talk about it. Mike has a plan for that. If they stay long. I've already asked him, I've already hit him up about the same stuff about that.
Do we need to have, the fire chief and the sheriff discuss that at a change meeting, or?
Well, at least whatever Mike's plans are needs to be cleared by the fire marshal.
Well, that's why I say we may have to have that discussion,
Yep.
right away, because he was in here this morning and he said his intent is for those doors to be locked.
Right. Then how do we get around the ADA from the elevator to get to the WIC office?
Well, that's what I mean, we have to have that discussion so that we satisfy the fire marshal and ADA and.
It sounds like it is, but yeah, we definitely don't want to get dinged by the fire marshal, if there's not a.
You're right, Sheriff. There'd have to be some changes with offices. They'd have to move, or so.
Yeah.
Well, let's have that discussion. Rick, do you think Thursday morning is appropriate to talk, or do we need this?
Well, I think it can be brought up and mentioned, what's the plan, even if he's not really ready to present it, what all he has in mind to compensate all these questions. Let's bring it up.
It sounds like if we're gonna have issues during business hours, it needs to be resolved.
Yeah. But there's no way right now that those, in my opinion, I've talked to Mike, that we can lock those doors during business hours as long as those offices are down there. Because if you're handicapped, you can't get through it. You can't.
Well, let's just make sure that they're not. For the time.
And they're not.
Yeah.
They are open.
So-
Now, at nighttime after 4, the fire doors themselves are locked, which I think you guys do that.
Yeah,
But not those inner ones yet.
okay.
But they're not locked, and I have had in-depth conversations about that, but he does want them locked, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I know his reason for doing that is security for the server, but.
Yep.
Power room, server room. Power and server room, so, but, obviously with that.
honestly, I think, like I said, I don't really want to get into it, but I think he had a plan of creating another hallway. Compensate for that, but anyway,
Well, for right now, it has to stay open.
it has to stay open.
Yeah, unless you see another, you probably know too, as far as, unless you see another option, but.
We'll have to keep them open. They got to stay open.
I think it's appropriate to do it at change committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can have somebody for
Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Is, maybe Dan or Eric can be on the WebEx or something to do with this. Okay. The week of 11/28, that is about last week of November. And then that'll carry in December, kicks in everything Thursday and Friday, the 1st and 2nd. That week there, I'm just letting you know this, our fire alarm system will be put on test here from 8 to 4 because of all the brazing that they got to do with the lines. They're afraid it would set it off with the lines going clear up. So I've already talked to Gene about this. As of right now, the week of the 28th, it'll be in test mode. during working hours, just in this building. At 4 PM, they're back on. Share that.
So how do we do that?
What happens is our alarm system goes through vSecure, which is Gene Blakey. He sets it, and then we'll call Chicago and tell them, and it just gets automatically, and then the fire department goes out. It's in test.
So if we have an actual fire, it would still go off?
Yeah.
Okay.
But with all this smoke and then things that this may cause.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that is going on as we speak right now. Everything's happening. I do it, brother. You guys have?
Rex, did you want to bring anything up as far as?
I'll do it afterwards. FMB.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be more appropriate after the public.
Okay.
Yeah, if you hang around to women, I mean,
Then I got something to do.
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
okay.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Rick.
Yep.
Ed, you got anything?
Do real quick. Morning.
Morning.
I've been here for a couple of weeks. We've been kind of busy upstairs, as you might understand. Just wanted to let you know that we're in good shape right now. We still have about $5 million to bring in, but we are working with all the bank stuff right now and going through all that. So we're pretty much right on track. We're over 84.25%. And this is right in line with where we were last year. We've collected $2,627,000 this last week. So a lot of people wait until the end, which is fine. It's not due till it's due. We had quite a few people that waited a little too long. And I don't know anybody in here that's on that list, but I may see you, I may not. But
Does that raise a stupid question, but does that raise more of a security risk up there in your office,
on what?
bringing all that money in?
We have ways to deal with it as far as that, yeah. We have security protocols that we follow.
Cameras out. Do I strap on a gun?
No, I don't have a gun, but I'm not afraid to put that to get the people back in jail. I'm not afraid to get the right people there, but we've actually, just yesterday, $129,000 in late fees, just yesterday. And those go into the general fund. I really don't want anybody to have to pay late fees, but there's a lot of reasons, and some of them are, they just forgot, mostly. And of course, they want me to waive those fees, and I can't. That's state statute, you just can't, unless it's something that we did wrong.
But you do send out notices, don't you?
I sent out plenty of notices. It's on all the bills, it's on all the paperwork, the mail out, it's with the radio, it's with the newspapers. I've had multiple press releases on this. And by the way, I've had a lot of people say, thank you for getting it on the radio. That's something a little bit new this year. And I had quite a few people mention that. But everybody, they have to pay late fees. One gentleman was a farmer, and he had a pretty good chunk that he had to pay, but he said, I knew it was due. I had the bills in my pocket, and I was in the tractor, and I was this close to being done farming. And he said that was more important to me. I wanted to get my farming done, and everything put away before I came in. So that was his choice, and he said I knew it ahead of time. And I understand that too. That's where I'm at.
You got it. I don't know what else you could do.
So, just to let you know, though, those late fees, they go into our general fund. So, there you go. That's all I have.
So thanks for your work, Ed.
29,000 on late fees.
Anyone else for Ed while he's here?
No, thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
All right. Shannon's not here. Did you have anything to present? present for her at all?
They'll ask me to,
I do know for our division, we've got several applicants. I can't see them yet, but she has the Indeed account, but I noticed that we've got several applicants for our position in our office. And for that, I saw it looked like there were some good ones, so good. It helped. She and I discussed wording it a little more differently than we did with settlement deputy, because nobody knew what that meant. So we put transfer and deed processing. That tells you a little more about what the job is. So I think that's part of why we're, of course, it's on there that there will be a $2 increase in January. That probably didn't hurt.
Well, that would be nice if you do get somebody that's got some experience. with that
Yeah.
Stuff. I mean, that's.
Yeah, and since they get started on the 12th, when Shannon returns, I will talk to her about setting up some interviews, or at least the people that, you don't have to interview everybody. She and I will look at it and determine who needs interviews and who doesn't, kind of go from there. And with the days we'll miss over the holidays, we'll have an extra week to be able to get the days to work with Lynn, so that's good. I appreciate that. So, good. Yeah, I look forward to you getting back for us so we can discuss that.
Okay. All right. Mark, do you have anything for us?
Ian sent the copy of that agreement that we had. It's that Trex agreement, but it's the agreement we had signed last year between Adams County government as the claimant agency and Association of Indiana Counties. And this is the contract to collect refunds. It's obtaining set-off tax refunds to satisfy an or debt owed to the agency. So basically, it's a service to collect delinquent accounts, and Adams County Community Corrections would like to utilize this service as well. And then they indicated they wanted a separate agreement between Adams County Community Corrections and Association of Indiana Counties. So I've got a new agreement. I just need a motion to approve this agreement between Adams County Government, Division of Community Corrections, and Association of Indiana Counties to initiate this collection program that they have in place. And this is the one that can be terminated upon by either party upon 90 days written notice. I've looked it over, and it's the same agreement that we signed last year, but it just adds community corrections as a local agency eligible to use that service. So just need a motion to approve that. And
We definitely just needed to have a whole separate contract.
I don't see why, but it's one of those things where, you know, sometimes it's easier to just do it than ask to explain why it's not necessary. But, you know, Adams County government, I think we've got an agreement now that would cover all of our agencies, but for whatever reason, they want another agreement that includes specifically community corrections. And so easy enough, put it on here and have it signed and send it down and get their approval. Okay.
We have a motion to sign agreement.
All right. So I'll get this after the meeting here, and we'll get this to you. I've got to type some stuff in, and other than that, it's about ready to go. Sent the appraisal out to all of you for the County Road 800 North project, so take a look at that. And we'll be working on getting a notice, offer letter out on that. And I met with Rick's here, so what's his name that you met with yesterday? Matt stopped by my office to kind of give me an update on the meeting you had with him yesterday about the air conditioner project. And so we'll have to talk about that some more concerning the controls. Because the Havel controls are disconnected for cooling.
They are.
And so whenever we go to start that up, and he said the temperature to start up's got to be 65.
He's 60 to get it started, and then Train will be in here and start that equipment. That's correct. The Havel they were here obviously to unhook it. And they were the one, well, the guy said, this system's very old.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped the conversation. I go, well, it's been discussed, it's been talked about. We're gonna get this completed first and see how this goes and we'll go from there.
Yep. So, yeah, well, that's something we're gonna need to be looking at here in the next couple of months, because you're gonna need operational controls, obviously, whenever you go to start up. So,
Well, there's a good chance that's not gonna happen till spring.
No, and it won't.
yeah,
It won't get completed until April, May anyway, just because of that temperature. As you stated.
and also reviewing the specifications. Tony's done a lot of work on this. We've got specifications for getting quotes on the county insurance coverage, and that covers all of the counties. Coverage, which covers property, liability, business, auto, public officials, law enforcement, crime. There's an umbrella policy and all of that. So Tony's done a lot of work, and he's got the specs here. We've bid this out every few years, and so we had specifications kind of prepared, but it's a lot of work to go through and update really the inventory of all the property that we have, and so we can provide that information to local agents to provide a quote to the county. So
Those
anyway.
have to be in Adams County, from what I understand.
Yep. Well, and that's what, the commissioners have done, is you've solicited quotes from, local agencies that can get the underwriters, and this type of coverage, not everybody can bid all this type of coverage. It depends on, who they work with and who their underwriters are. So, the governmental, commercial, comprehensive policies have a lot of different coverage line items, and it's pretty complex, but Tony's done a lot of work here. So anyway, we'll be getting those
Well, that's what makes
requests
it
for
work.
quotes out.
We've talked about an asset management plan, whether that would help.
Well, we kind of have that in place now, to some extent. With Peterson Consulting, we've had them do capital assets. Data Bitstuff also does capital assets. So we have a pretty extent, now there's a $5,000 threshold on that. So if you're talking under that, that might be something different.
But I mean, that was sufficient kind of for them to bid this out.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to my knowledge, there are 3 county agencies that I would send this to that I know of. One is Star, one is Freeland, one is Bixler, that would do this kind of thing, unless you guys can think of another one that I'm missing.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 that I thought. And I have been working with all 3 of those already. They know this is coming. They get all this information, and it's like Mark said, it's pretty extensive. It takes quite a bit of time. I have to fill out all these applications for all these different underwriters and carriers, and it's a lot of over every year for that.
It's just a good thing you got a lot of time on your
Yeah, I do it in my spare time.
Yeah.
I can take it over, sit in the office, but I'm jotting some stuff down. But we'll get that together. And we have the dates that are on there. His name is Mark. Mark was in the office the other day, and we kind of discussed that, and I think we came up with dates. Since the renewal date is February 9th, we have January 23rd, Monday, January 23rd, by 3 p.m. for these agencies to have their proposals in our office. The next day, we will get those to you guys. The following week, each of the entities has, it says 5 minutes. They can come into your commissioners meeting on, I think it's the 31st, to present for about 5 minutes if there's any unique things they need to discuss on what you're going to be looking at for that week. And then you guys can make the decision on who to go with.
how long of a contract will this be?
It's a year. It's very limited.
You have to do this every year.
Well, we haven't bid it out for that long.
We don't have to rebid.
You don't have to rebid it. You have to renew it every year. Yeah, you have to renew it, but you don't have to rebid it. This kind of started last year. Rex was chairman. And there was discussion about doing that. We actually began that process last year. But then Mark and I talked, and it had gotten pretty late in the game for us to try to get all of that together for you guys to make an accurate and adequate decision. So we opted to hold off and do it this year, started earlier, and have more time to get these together so that you guys have the correct things in front of you to look at. So
I'm just making that,
Is that something you, I mean, we read, but 3 years, 5 years,
Well, I think you really should do it at least every 3 years, I would think. I mean, it's part of the deal to go through and do that thing. But she called the other day and we're not really us doing it. I said, you know, I think, she got a thing from you, Tony, for some insurance. So I think she's gonna look at pricing some other companies that they do business with.
yeah,
I think we do business with 4 or 5 other companies, so she was gonna check with that.
each of these agencies look at these carriers. For example, if Star has Travelers as a carrier, that will lock out the other companies from using Travelers. So they have to find, they each have their own carriers that would reach out and seek to do this, so. But as long as those dates that I was saying were, I think it does work out for our timing, for them to approve everything, don't we?
well, just looking at the dates here, proposals are due January 23rd, that's Monday. Yep. And so on the top here, we still have the 24th, so I changed that to the 23rd.
Okay.
Proposals due Monday, January 23rd. The commissioners meeting then is on the 24th. And again, these are quotes, they're not competitive bids, it's professional services, so you don't take competitive bids on something like this. But so you ask for the quotes to be returned on a date, and then I think on the 24th, Tuesday, then, and we'll put in here, each company have an opportunity to address their proposal to the commissioners, explain any unique features of the policy or any variances in coverage. And I would do that on Tuesday, your meeting Tuesday, the 24th. And then that way, you've got a week to review those policies, and then the following Tuesday can make a decision regarding who you're going to select for coverage based upon the proposals. I don't think you want to have, if you receive them on the 23rd or 24th, and then the following week, you have them present information, they may present some information that you weren't aware of, and now you're up against the line trying to make a decision. I think you want to have them, they need to have the opportunity to present their proposal to the commissioners that following day on the 24th, and then that gives you a week to review those proposals and then make a decision on the 31st, which is the following Tuesday. So I'm making those changes here. And
Take it under advisement, on the 24th, and then decide on the 31st.
yes,
You make those changes and just go ahead and send it back to
I'm
them.
saving those here and I'll send it back to you.
Print it out, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
very good. Well, I appreciate all the time you put into that, so, that'll keep us current.
And I think it is a good idea to put things out, or
Still get the best pricing,
so.
so. All right.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Paul, anything for us?
Never thought that this day would come, but I gotta come to this, but I got a call this morning that Stacy Myers can be leaving Surveyor's office, moving over to solid waste. And that'll be 2 weeks, I understand.
Well, he's been a pretty valuable employee to
Very valuable because he could repair anything as far as equipment, like equipment repair for us. Save tons of money for the county. And with his age and that, he said, Kyle's not getting any better. I was hoping that it'd be intact when Mike took over. But I knew that the city was after him, some others were after him, and he had to give an answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got a CDL, not any equipment there is. So it's a sad day for our office. I'm happy for him. It's going to be an easier job than what he had with the weather conditions and everything. It's not an easy job to fill. And I guess I need a little direction.
So, as far as your crew, so how many people?
I only got Kevin Cook, who
Okay.
and Stacy were the crew.
Okay.
A couple years back, I had 3 on the crew, which was nice. But
So as far as the work that you've got on your plate right now for the crew, is that somebody that needs to be replaced as soon as possible?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, because I didn't know if it was something you wanted to wait on Mike there, or if you need to fill that
Well,
out.
we need to start advertising.
We
Okay.
need to go through Shannon and HR to get that started, right?
I was hit up with it this morning. I wasn't aware of it. I
Okay.
knew that he was looking, and I told him I hope he stays, but
Well,
with his giftedness of working with equipment, handling equipment, he could go any.
that's too bad. How long has he worked? for?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
he started on 8/31/15.
Yeah.
So he was here for a little over 7 years.
Yeah. Well, as far as filling that position, if you want to talk to Shannon, she'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, and, because she's not here today.
She'll be back tomorrow morning. and
She'll be back tomorrow morning, and then, maybe between you and her, you can have a recommendation for us.
I have nobody even lined up.
Yeah, but I mean, she'll be able to help with that.
That's why
So,
we have HR.
yeah, so, yeah, she'll be able to help, with the timeline and how to move ahead and stuff, so. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, so,
Sorry for Mike, it's
yeah.
one of those things, you can't. I'm going to give them the liberty to go, because if they can better themselves, let them go. I really hate to see him go, because he's an excellent worker.
Yeah.
Could fix anything.
Well, I guess we can certainly be glad for the time that he did spend here and the
Absolutely.
job that he did.
I appreciate the time that he was here.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
We need to go back up to 3 employees.
So,
Do we need to go back up to 3 employees?
You would like to.
Be good if, right now, with the amount of work we have, it could work. But I don't think we have it budgeted for 3 anymore.
Yeah.
okay.
Are you gonna be able to find a replacement for?
That's the first project.
Yeah.
So if you know somebody that's good with backhoe and excavators, skid or something, have some ability to move around. It's not easy work to go in and out of those trenches and to match up the tile. And so you gotta wrap it and make it work. It's not easy.
He said he's going to solid waste.
With the solid waste.
Adam's
Going
going.
to solid waste.
Okay. Well, Shannon's pretty aggressive about getting the word out and looking for people. So, hopefully with working with her, she'll be able to help you.
So in other words, she will do the advertising for me, or
She does, yeah.
I needed to know what my part was.
Yeah, and she'll sit down with you and work on that together with you. So, yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah. All right. Okay. Larry, did you have anything for us?
Yeah, I apologize for not getting on the agenda. I just want to give everybody an update. Miller, they're out at Sunnybrook. They should finish up the main, just in that little addition out there, and then they're gonna work on the taps to the people's houses. They're hoping to get that done by the end of the week so they can get all of that paving back to normal. Then they're gonna continue on setting the grinders and doing all that. Fleming, they're back working out at Oakwood. They're doing the taps out there also. They still have quite a bit. They've been pulled out for about a month now, but they're back. And then I guess we're moving forward on the next project the way it sounds.
So out at Sunnybrook, does that mean that they will actually be online by the end of the week?
No, there's a lot. There's a lot. They've been working on getting the boring. They are going down 900. They have to get underneath the railroad tracks there and get it up to row acres there to tie in. The pumps are set. There's no electrical the substantial completion is February 9th, I believe.
Gotcha.
Probably both groups are going to ask for an extension.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's quite a ways away. They're both companies are moving forward. Preble, we just have, I think, about 12 houses that need to hook up. Maybe a few more than that, but a lot of them are waiting on some money. They applied for some grants and stuff through them. So, but there's still a few contractors getting a few hooked up here and there.
Okay. So when there are opportunities for applications, grant applications that James got up in your office up there for people
Yes.
to have the hookups done. So.
Yeah, but I think it's the USDA, and I believe all they will pay for is the construction. To have a contractor come in and come up, I don't believe that they'll pay any of the bill.
Right. So, Steve, did you have anything else on that? Because I know I've had people approach me too about, the cost and stuff, so,
Yeah, I think Larry's exactly right. The USDA grant is just for the connection. I think if they have issues with their ongoing operating fees, they need to, their township trustee.
So like say for construction expenses, what would be a typical hookup expense?
It all depends on where, what they have to do. Roughly $3,000. I
Okay.
mean, it could be 5 or it could be, I don't think.
So those grants would cover part of that, all of that?
I think all of it. I think all of the construction fee is what I was told.
Okay.
But
So-
it's income based and it's.
Yeah, it's income based.
Okay. All right. So, but that opportunity is there to apply for those, so, that would be nice for people to know that they can, look into that.
Yeah, we let them all know. They call up to the office. Jane is awesome. She does a good job of people calling up and hollering, and she gets it calmed down. She does a good job on everything.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions for Larry? Okay. All right, I appreciate the update, that's for sure.
You sent those
Corrections to me. Tom, did you have anything? Okay.
Still working on.
Okay. All right. Anything else from the general public?
Yes, statement of value.
Motion adjourned.
Statement of values.
Motion second to adjourn.